Good morning and welcome to ABC News Ghana. This is ABC Headlines. I am Khadija Isifu. Coming up in the headlines, President John Mahama has dismissed calls for the scrapping of the Office of the Special Prosecutor, stating that such calls are premature. Meanwhile, a bill is in the offing seeking to scrap the office. The Electoral Commission of Ghana has set Tuesday, December 30 for a rerun of the Kwandai constituency parliamentary election. Meanwhile, the minority in parliament has called on the House to withdraw its notice of rerun to the EC. We have these and many more coming up. Do stay tuned. We are streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at ABC News GH_. Now to the details. President John Mahama says it is too early for anyone to call for the abolition of the Office of the Special Prosecutor, insisting that the institution still holds an important role in Ghana's anti-corruption framework. Speaking during a courtesy call by the National Peace Council at the Jubilee House on Wednesday, December 10, the president stressed that the OSP remains the only anti-corruption body with full prosecutorial independence. President Mahama urged the OSP to accelerate its ongoing cases to restore public confidence.
People, but I mean, the people of Ghana will not forgive us if people develop impunity in terms of abusing the trust that people have put in them. And so that's why we're resourcing the Economic and Organized Crime Office and the other anti-corruption institutions, including the Office of the Special Prosecutor. And recently, there have been some controversy with the Office of the Special Prosecutor. I think it's premature to call for the closure of that office. The unique thing about that office is it is the only anti-corruption agency that has prosecutorial powers to be able to prosecute themselves without going through the Attorney General. And so people had mistrust with the Attorney General because the Attorney General normally is a member of government and is a minister of state. And so they believe that the Attorney General will be very reluctant to prosecute his own. But if there's an independent office like the Office of the Special Prosecutor, it won't matter who you are. Because they have security of tenure and they have prosecutorial powers, whether you're a member of government or you're a member of a previous government or you are anybody who has, misappropriated public funds, they have the law is behind them to be able to prosecute you. So I think we should give them a little time. Of course, people want to see, more prosecutions and more results. And so I'll just urge the OSP to speed up, some of these investigations and, show people that the office is still
on this. A move to scrap the Office of the Special Prosecutor has hit Parliament as Majority Leader Mahama Yarga and Majority Chief Whip Roxanne Nelson Dafiamepo have laid a private member's bill seeking a complete repeal of the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act 2017, Act 959. The Office of the Special Prosecutor 2025, dated 8th December 2025, outlines Parliament's intent to retain full prosecutorial authority over corruption cases to the Attorney General, in line with Article 88 of the Constitution. The memorandum attached to the bill argues that the OSP's operations over the past 8 years have revealed deep structural and constitutional challenges that undermine its effectiveness. According to the memorandum, the OSP's creation in 2017 introduced duplication in prosecutorial functions between the Special Prosecutor and the Attorney General, resulting in institutional friction, jurisdictional overlap, and avoidable delays in criminal proceedings. The lawmakers argue that the dual prosecutor model has produced inefficiencies rather than strengthen the national anti-corruption framework. If passed, the bill would consolidate all anti-corruption prosecutions under the Attorney General, a move its sponsors say will enhance efficiency, accountability, and coordination across the justice sector. The memorandum highlights several expected benefits, including reduced administrative overhead, improved budgetary control under a single vote head, better deployment of skilled prosecutors and investigators, and greater value for money. Away from that, the government has withdrawn the controversial lithium agreement from Parliament to allow for broader consultations with key stakeholders. The Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Alhaji Yusuf Suleiman, announced on Wednesday, addressing the House. The Deputy Minister said the decision was influenced by concerns raised by civil society groups, industry experts, and MPs from both sides of the chamber. He explained that NGOs and prominent voices within the extractive sector had also urged the government to conduct further technical and stakeholder engagement before resubmitting the deal.
Mr. Speaker, listening to my colleagues from the other side, they have made my work very easy. They have given reasons why there's a need for us to withdraw this agreement. He's saying that he's listening to very prominent people. He's listening to so many NGOs and civil society organizations, and they are all calling on us to do further works on this very important agreement. It is for that reason that the listening minister, the listening government has decided that we will withdraw this agreement, do further work, involving you in this, so that together we can move together. Mr. Speaker, I leave, and the leave is accordingly sought. Thank you.
The Electoral Commission of Ghana has announced a rerun of the Pandai constituency parliamentary election scheduled for Tuesday, December 30, 2025. This decision follows a directive from the Tamale High Court, which on Monday, 24th November 2025, ordered a rerun of the election to be conducted within 30 days. The Commission's action was further triggered by the receipt of a formal notification from the Clerk to Parliament on Tuesday, 9th December 2025, declaring the constituency's parliamentary seat vacant. In a press release, the AC stated that the rerun will be contested exclusively by the 3 candidates who participated in the original 2024 parliamentary election for the Pandai constituency. This restriction ensures the rerun is a direct continuation of the disputed poll, focusing on the same contenders. The statement signed by EC Deputy Director of Research, Monitoring and Evaluation Department, Fred Tete, urged the general public to take note of the new election date. The Commission has underscored its commitment to the core principles of transparency, fairness and integrity in conducting this electoral exercise. Meanwhile, the minority in Parliament has renewed its call for the withdrawal of a notice sent to the Electoral Commission declaring the Pandai parliamentary seat vacant. The notice followed a Tamale High Court ruling ordering a rerun of the parliamentary election in the Pandai constituency. Speaking to journalists on Wednesday, December 10, Deputy Minority Leader and Asokwa MP, Madam Patricia PJ, criticized the court's decision as selective and cynical, warning that it could set a toxic new rule for the future. She described the declaration of the seat as vacant as premature and unconstitutional.
We defer any action until the appellate process is conclusively complete, respecting the precedent set across decades. And number 3, we need to recognize that this premature notification violates the separation of powers, disrespects the judiciary, unjustly disenfranchises the people of Pandai, and betrays Parliament's own tradition of constitutional caution. And finally, number 4, need to withdraw the notice of the Electoral Commission to the Electoral Commission immediately. This is not a partisan plea. It is a call for basic constitutional fidelity and historical consistency. In conclusion, I stand here for the rule of law and for the sanctity of our parliamentary.
Away from Parliament, President John Dramani Mahama has officially assented to the COVID-19 Health Recovery Levy Repeal Act 2025, effectively scrapping the 1% levy that was imposed on goods, services and imports at the height of COVID-19 pandemic. The President signed the repeal on Wednesday, December 10, clearing the way for the levy's complete removal beginning January 2026.
And today is the 10th of December 2025. Signed. Purported to provide free water, free electricity, free food, and a lot of things. And to the shock of most Ghanaians after the pandemic was over and after the elections were over, government slapped Ghanaians with a 1% value-added tax, ostensibly to recover what it's supposed to have spent on the COVID pandemic. Ghana continued to remain one of the only countries where we're being taxed for a pandemic that had passed. And so during the election, we promised that when the NDC comes to power, the COVID levy is one of those who repeal. A lot of Ghanaians have disliked this tax, and today I'm pleased that on the 10th of December 2025, I've signed the repeal act to remove the 1% COVID levy.
Away from the presidency, the Ministry of Transport has begun deploying additional buses on 4 major Accra corridors during peak hours to ease the worsening transportation challenges commuters face in the evenings. Transport Minister Joseph Nikpe Bukari announced the move, saying the emergency measure is expected to improve safety, reduce long waits, and curb exorbitant fares charged by some private operators. Speaking to journalists in Parliament, the minister said the deployment takes effect December 10 and forms part of an immediate response to growing concerns about unreliable evening transport in the capital.
That we are going to employ some buses commencing from today, 10th December, and we will ensure that those buses are available at the peak hours to support our commuters who have closed from work to get home safely. And the Ministry of Transport is doing this in collaboration with the Intercity STC. Some of their long route vehicles return at good times and their schedules are for the next day. We are ensuring that we mop up all those vehicles and ensure that they are on our routes. So for now, we have identified 4 major corridors that we are going to deploy a minimum of 8 buses to each of the corridors. We are working to ensure that we increase the number of buses such that we'll be able to pick all our commuters home safely. And those corridors are the Accra, Madina, Adenta corridor. They will have a minimum of 8 buses starting from today at 4:30 p.m. to 8:30. That will be the operational period. We also have Accra, Achimota, Amasamai. They will also have a minimum of 8 buses that will also start operations today from 4:30 to 8:30 in the evenings. We also have Accra, Malam, Kaswa route that will also have a minimum of 8 buses that will also start operations at peak hours from 4:30 to 8:30 p.m. And the last route we have identified is the Accra Tama Beach route that leads to Tama. It will also have a minimum of 8.
That was the Transport Minister addressing the media yesterday. Now to more stories. The Economic Community of West African States has announced the abolition of air transport taxes across its member states and a 25% reduction in passenger and security charges in a move aimed at lowering the cost of air travel within the sub-region. In a statement posted on Wednesday, December 10, 2025, the West African Regional Bloc said the abolition of the air transport taxes and reduction in passenger and security charges were a continuation of a decision taken by its top leadership during a December 2024 summit held in Abuja, Nigeria. The heads of state and governments of the Economic Community of West African States at their December 2024 summit in Abuja adopted a landmark measure to reduce the cost of air travel across the region. The statement read, according to ECOWAS, The new policy will take effect from January 1, 2026. From 1st January 2026, all ECOWAS member states will abolish air transport taxes and reduce passenger and security charges by 25%, in line with a supplementary act on aviation charges, taxes and fees. The statement added. The bloc explained that the decision was a response to persistent complaints by travelers, airlines and industry stakeholders over the prohibitively high cost of air travel in West Africa compared to other regions. The Supreme Court has set January 14, 2026 to take a decision on a request by the Deputy Attorney General for the court to review portions of its previous ruling in the case involving former National Signals Bureau boss Kwabena Edubuahin and his wife. The duo are standing trial for stealing, money laundering and using public office for private gain. The couple initially filed an application before the court seeking to prohibit the High Court judge presiding over their criminal trial, but got it dismissed. The Supreme Court revised the practice direction on further disclosures, ruling that prosecutors need only disclose materials in their possession that are connected to the case, rather than all relevant materials. But the Deputy Attorney General invoked the court's review jurisdiction. Dr. Justice Remsai argued that the ordinary bench had effectively rewritten the practice direction by deleting relevance without inserting any equivalent term. According to him, this could force practitioners to rely solely on possession without considering whether requested materials bear any connection to the issues on trial. He urged the court to restore the word relevance with its ordinary, non-technical meaning or replace it with the phrase connected with the matter before the court. He insists that the criminal disclosure regime must require some nexus between the materials requested and the case. That's how we wrap up with the headlines this morning. For more news, visit our website at www.abcnewsgh.com and follow us on our socials at abcnewsgh_. ABC in the Morning comes up next with Abna Manti. I am Khadija Isifu. Do have a nice day.